And now, everyone, President Muhammadu Buhari is appealing to state governors to address the plight of workers in their state by paying their salaries. The president seems to be concerned that despite the Paris Club refund, some states are still owing salaries. Okay, you probably have heard Paris Club refund so many times and wondering who is refunding who. In plain terms, the federal government is refunding state government. And why? When Nigeria was servicing its external debts from Paris and London clubs between 1995 and 2002, it was making deductions from states. Debt relief came in 2005. The states requested for refund of the over deductions from their Federation Account Allocation Committee, FAC, that is popularly called. The federal agreed to disburse the money, but there are conditions for the disbursement. A minimum of 50% of the money is expected to be used to pay workers' salaries and pensions. Now, who got what? A total of 516 billion naira was released to the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory and the fourth tranche. July this year, 2017 that is, states got 244 billion Nigerian naira in the second tranche, so more than 760 billion naira has been disbursed so far into two tranches. Akwa Ibom, Rivers, Bayelsa, Kano, Delta states got 10 billion naira each from the second tranche, and that's the highest by any state. Now, who is owing? Why? How the economic realities hitting some states more than the other? Paris Club reform, bailout or no bailout? Are some states even viable at all? Let's get into the matter tonight. Joining us to discuss this matter is Executive Director of Center for Social Justice, a lawyer and civil rights activist. From our Abuja studio, Mr. Eze Onyekpere. Many thanks for coming. And also the co-founder of Budget, a data analyst company. Seun Onigbinde joins us from the United States. Many thanks, gentlemen, for coming on the program. Let me begin with you, Seun. How did we get here? And who are those states, from your research that your company has made and from what you know, which of the states are still owing salaries, worker salaries, as we speak?
Okay, so according to recent research, there are still at least 10 states are still owing worker salaries. We are certain that Benue, Abia are still owing worker salary. In the southwest, there's still backlog in Ondo, Oyo. For Osun, Osun has adopted what they call salary modulation, but there are still pensioners who are still owed for several months. So across the state, across the nation, even in Niger, Nasarawa, there's still some pockets of workers that are still being owed. So for most of the states that were able to pay in the first tranche, but it has reduced for close to 22 states to now around 10 states. But I think the question President Muhammadu Buhari is asking is, we have given you over 760 billion naira. Why is it that the problem is yet to abate? And the problem won't abate because the dependence of states on the federal allocation is a problem here. So even if you're owing, if you can pay your backlog, what happens to now when even allocations given to states is not even still enough to make workers' salary? So it's about the structure of the state and the what you call the feeding bottom federalism that we have as a country. And I think that's the biggest problem. And I think that's what President Muhammadu Buhari should face and tackle squarely. There have been calls for reconstruction and restructuring, and different conversation has been happening, and it's also having political hue at this point. But I think it's time that we should face it head on. The way our states are structured and incentivized does not allow them to be profit centers.
Let me go to Mr. Onyekpere. The president pleading with the state governors to pay workers' salaries. With all of this money, do they have any business owing workers' salaries from the kind of monies, at least 3 times now we know that the federal government has given states monies?
Well, very well. Beyond the refunds, we had bailout funds which had been given to the states at the initial period, and with a subnational fiscal sustainability plan, which was they were asked to conform to if they were serious about running their states. Well, the available evidence indicates that most of the states have not actually looked at that fiscal sustainability plan in terms of introducing greater accountability and transparency in their budgeting process, opening up their procurement process, opening up their debt sustainability process in such a way that they can procure debts that will be sustainable, and generally looking inwards to raise more money, within the state. So what we have, first of all, is an accountability challenge. And that challenge is that the state houses of assembly are not in a position to hold the governors and call them to account. And so that has led to a situation where the governors are like little emperors in their domains. Nobody challenges them. The legislature is not there to hold them to account. So at the end of the day, they spend the money the way they like, and this is what has led to this situation where workers are perpetually owed. And I'm sure that across all the states of the Federation, pensioners, people who are supposed to get pension are not paid. And even gratuities and payoffs that are supposed to get when they retire never comes up. So it's a question of lack of accountability coupled with the resources that are getting leaner and leaner by the day.
Mr. Yokere, as a lawyer, when the ICPC came and said they were tracking that some of the governors had diverted some of these funds, what can you tell us? And legally speaking, what can we do to perhaps the governors that it's been tracked that have diverted the monies meant to pay salaries and wages of workers?
Well, unfortunately, there's not much that can be done now, considering that they enjoy immunity from suit and legal process. We may have to wait until the end of their tenure. But the most reasonable thing to do is that if we are in an actual democracy, the legislature should have been the body to call the executive, leader of the executive to account to say, please, this money came in, what exactly did you do with it? Is it in line with the approved budget of the state? And then that kind of questioning can now lead us to a situation where the governor could possibly be impeached or possibly be sanctioned by the State House of Assembly. But as it stands now, where the legislature is virtually in the pocket of the executive, not much can be done. But I think also that it's an opportunity for civil society, the media, the academia, for everybody to become more interested in what is happening at the state level, because it appears we are more focused on what is happening at the federal level. Everybody can question the president, can question the National Assembly, but more or less little attention is paid to what is happening in the state. So an opportunity is provided for more work, for more attention and more focus on the state level.
Let me go to the U.S. With Shawoning Minde. You have a lot of data with you. Some of these states, if you ask them, the state government will say, we are not owing workers salary. But local government workers will say that they are being owed salaries. What kind of quagmire is in the financial one some of these workers have found themselves?
Yeah, Barrister Isaac said something that was very, very relevant. And what he said was, when the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, at a point during this whole cascade of bailouts for states, drafted 21 conditions, and she put it in what you call the fiscal sustainability plan. Very exhaustive. It ranged from the entire fiscal pipeline, budgeting, procurement, audit. It was something that looked like if every state abide by it up to the letter, then we would have much more transparent and accountable state. But now, it's still not that. We have been struggling as budget to get budgets in state. Out of 36 states, we have detailed budget for just 19 states in budget. And this has taken a whole rigorous and a whole difficult process of what is meant to be a public document. The structure of some state budget is so awful and so pitiful. Like, what is this? Is this how you plan for public money? So we need more deeper dive into what's happening in our states. We've overstretched the narrative for the federal government. And that's why if you look at a state governor today, a state governor runs like an unchallenged emperor.